When you administer of higher education, the issue of meal allowances became a controversial issue. Yeah. What was your vision? What were you trying to do?
In fact, Emmanuel, I'm so glad that you brought that in this conversation.
Yeah.
And I think this is very important, and I hope a lot of people listen to what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because you know, when you are doing things, even in politics, the context is very important. And in Bemba they say, "Asenda bofe ichush." I think that's what happened with the meal allowance. Because of the propaganda that was there at that time, they saw it attractive to pick the meal allowance and then tarnish my name. But what I'm glad about is that, in fact, some of the students that are talking now, we're not even there. But I think the students that were there who understood what this was all about, they were very appreciative. Now, for many, many years, from 1966, when universities were being established in Zambia and then also the colleges. After University of Zambia, then Copperbelt University was established. But during the MMD days, remember, Mulungushi University was established.
Yeah.
So we had 3 universities and several colleges. The colleges students were not getting any support from government.
This is not true. Government has always been sponsoring students at Nordec, Evelyn Hone, NRDC, and other colleges on merit.
If you went into college, you had to fend for yourself with your family. With the 3 universities, only Copperbelt University and University of Zambia were getting support. But even the numbers were small. You're talking of sometimes 1,500 students, at the most 2,000 students. But it's the type of education, because you are taught to pass exams. There are no other skills that you are taught.
This is not true. What about woodwork, metalwork, TD and GMD, agriculture, production units, etc.?
And I introduced 2 things during my tenure of us. One was career centers at the universities. In the career centers, the students were taught not only to be engineers, but they were taught how to dress when they are going for interviews. They were taught how to do project proposals in case they want to start a business of their own. They were taught how to leadership skills. And so on.
From primary school to university, the education system in Zambia has always included career counselling and guidance services for pupils and students. In fact, we have had career guidance teachers in secondary from the 1970s. At colleges and universities, career student services are embedded in the college and university structures through such offices as Dean of Students and Student Affairs officers.
Then I said, let's look for a few schools where we can start training children in skills. Not everybody, Ambassador, are going to be doctors, engineers. There are those that are good with their hands. They'll be good bricklayers. They'll be good plumbers. In fact, in Europe and everywhere else, the most highly paid people are the skilled people. If you want to make money in America, be a plumber. If you want to make money in Australia, be a refrigeration engineer. So we introduced this in schools so that the children were not only learning maths, English, geography, and whatever, they were also given skills classes. And we did several schools in Chipata, in Solwezi, and wherever.
Skills training has always been part of the education system in Zambia. In fact, when I was in primary school, between grades 5 and 7, I used to take woodwork and the school had enough tools for us. The same was and is still the case for secondary schools, where woodwork, metalwork, technical drawing, and agriculture science are examinable subjects. In fact, it was in the 1990s onwards that the shift from trades and skills training to a focus on business training began, and the effects of such a policy shift are evident in the construction sector, where people are being recommended foreign nationals to do plumbing, electrical installation, roofing, landscaping and ceiling board fitting on their construction sites.
And I hope that has continued. And the highlight of this is that one time I was in Eastern Province in a village, and a girl came to me and says, I've not managed to go to university because my parents can't afford. So I'm using my skill. I built them a house, and I want to be built because the villagers here love this. I'll be building others. When they pay me, then I'll get myself to university. So these are some of the things that I did. So we started the transformation program. We even brought an expert from Malaysia to come and help us with this transformation program. And so the propaganda around meal allowance, what people need to do is to go and see the numbers. Are the numbers of people that are getting scholarships the same with the meal allowance? Or was it better when I was there?
No, it was not better. And here are the numbers. The number of University of Zambia students on government loans has increased by 69% between 2021 and 2024, from 2,481 students to 4,184. Also, the overall access to student loans has increased from 17,444 in 2021 to 24,348 in 2022. In the 2023-2024 academic year, a total number of 4,184 students have been awarded student loans with meal allowances.
And how much relief did I get away from parents who were struggling to pay school fees, book allowance, project allowance for their children? And I know people do speak to me privately and says, Nkandu, So for me, even when they talk about success, meal allowance, I just sit there and laugh because I'm an academician myself. And I know the impact of a child not being able to have money to pay for their school fees, the impact it has. Whereas with food, they can even go to a next door neighbor and eat something. Or their parents can bring them something.
In this study, it has been shown that the removal of meal allowances, students engaged in alternative income-generating activities to raise money for their living expenses. These activities include gambling, small-scale business, caterism or politics, illicit sex among female students, renting out bed spaces, and part-time jobs. This resulted in students missing lectures and overall poor academic performance. The study recommended that government should reinstate the student meal allowances.
So for me, I'm a very proud person, having been Minister of Higher Education and made it possible that all the colleges, children are supported. All the universities, children are supported. People can say what they like about meal allowance. They are entitled to their own opinion. They can celebrate as much as they want. They are entitled. But I know
has benefited more. Policy benefited
I know
more.
that the policy of the Patriotic Front, when President Lungu gave me the opportunity to run Minister of Higher Education, has benefited more people in Zambia.
Meal allowance has been reinstated and the number of students accessing government loans has also gone up. This was not the case when she was the Minister of Higher Education.
And I think experience is very important. You know, one of the tragedies of Africa, and Zambia in particular, is not celebrating experience. And not even analyzing things and not looking at things in context.
It is clear that the context given regarding meal allowances is not supported by facts. Experience should be celebrated, but it should also be based on a good track record.
This is why the same people in the Western world that are saying this is time for young people, ask them, do people retire in America? People don't retire in America. If today I applied for a job in one of the universities with my credentials in the US, I'll be taken immediately. What are they looking at? They are looking at my intellectual ability. They are also looking at my experience.
No one can doubt your intellectual prowess and experience in academia, but your experience in politics can be challenged.
I pity those that want to carry on with this conversation around meal allowance, but I know that the people that know the detail, and I'm glad to have been given an opportunity to give this detail, and I hope people will now appreciate that this narrative will be brought to an end.